this at the level of mudslinging, wala tayong mapupuntahan, 'di ba? Hindi lang contemptuous 'yan sa ating highest court, but it's really not gonna help. So, what I want to also understand, Jesus, moving forward, there's again this big question about um Senate.
Due process?
Well, we can talk about it, but what I want to also go to is yung Senate, because the Senate is this is supposed to be a sui generis, right? Entity, and therefore some would argue that okay, Supreme Court raised certain procedural issues, and we may even have certain disagreement with the counting process and the timeline and all of that. But at the end of the day, if the majority of the senators agree to move ahead, this could move ahead theoretically, right?
Yeah. So ako, I'm putting on my hat as a political scientist kasi syempre as a lawyer, there are a lot of limitations. I am for the rule of law. That's to be clear, no, as a lawyer. Pero of course, we cannot look at the law in a vacuum. So again, kaya naman ako naging lawyer, not to really be a practicing lawyer per se, but to look at the political dynamics. So if you look at the Constitution, no, the Constitution is a political document more than a legal document. And meron ng Supreme Court decisions that have said the same thing. Even Justice Lonen, in a certain oral argument and a certain Supreme Court decision I'm forgetting, sinabi niya na the Constitution is a layman's document or a political document. Of course, it's a legal document, but more than that, dapat everybody should be able to read it and interpret it for themselves. Otherwise, what's the purpose of the sovereign people coming together to ratify the Constitution? That's the context we're working it. Second, so let's look at the design of the Constitution with the judiciary, the Supreme Court, the Senate and the House as legislative, and the executive through the president. No, of course, the Supreme Court, the judiciary, is the last bastion of democracy. It is the one given with the power to interpret and the power to finally decide all cases and controversies. But that is from a legal lens. Legal lens meaning the reason why Supreme Court is final kasi bawal na mag-second motion for reconsideration, bawal ka na mag-question if the Supreme Court has decided with finality. But in the context of history and
Pero
politics,
mag-motion for reconsideration ng House of Representatives, right?
yeah, they can still file for one MR. So after that, magkaka-finality na, 'di ba? Kasi second MR, third MR yung kay Dilima, 'di ba? Those are prohibited. We have to let things rest at some point. So that point is with the Supreme Court. Wala nang higher court than the Supreme Court. So that's why it's final. The reason why I mentioned that is because from a political lens, madami ng mga justices, US justices, madaming political scientists and historians who have said that the Supreme Court are also humans. That's the first thing we should note. They are also prone to error. It doesn't mean unanimous ang decision. Doesn't make it correct. Sinabi ko na kanina, Ruby versus Provincial Board of Mindoro. Sa United States, yung mga slavery decisions. Ang daming mali na eventually history said that's wrong. So, what am I pointing out here? In relation with the Senate, yung Supreme Court decision should be respected in the context of does it advance the Constitution? Kasi the Supreme Court is only as credible and persuasive as the reasoning behind its writing. If hindi maniwala yung mga senators that the decision of the Supreme Court is sound, is based on the Constitution. Let's just give a very obvious example, Richard, di ba? What if the Supreme Court said, gays have no rights? Nilagay nila sa Supreme Court decision. Nagkaroon ng Supreme Court case about gays and they said, transgenders and gays have no human rights. That clearly contradicts the Constitution of the Philippines, which says everybody has human rights, including LGBT. What will the political branches do? What will the sovereign people do? Follow the Supreme Court? Not necessarily. And again, we're not promoting here the violation of the rule of law. We're not saying don't follow the law. Ang question here, what is the law that should be followed? It will always be the Constitution. The Supreme Court, even though it is given with the final power to interpret the Constitution, doesn't mean it is perfect. It doesn't mean it is always correct in what it says about the Constitution. That is why, and this is the concern with the Supreme Court decision, that is why the Constitution said, itong clear words ng ng Constitution sole and exclusive power to initiate is with the House. Sole and exclusive power to try impeachment is with the Senate. Because the framers of the Constitution and the people, nung pinirmahan niyang Constitution, the frame of thought then was, let's reserve it to the political branches more than the judicial branch. Although, of course, the judicial branch has a role to play from time to time, but in very serious controversies na parang imina-micromanage ng Supreme Court what the House should do. Parang minamando at dinidiktahan ng Supreme Court, itong dapat mong gawin, House and Senate. Can the House and the Senate resist?
So that's the overreach critique. That
judicial overreach.
Judicial overreach.
Wag muna tayong pumunta sa Pilipinas. Let's look at other countries. In other countries,
US,
when
right?
the judiciary...
I mean, okay, like you keep on talking about, I mean, the US, right? This is a very live debate, literally, because the Trump administration has been pushing back against the Supreme Court's inhibitions on yung dinadala yung mga illegal immigrants sa El Salvador, and ang argument ng executive branch is that it is their prerogative on matters that have to do with foreign policy, etc. So we already see in the US there's already back and forth. Interesting, even if the court is supposedly dominated by conservatives, what I'm saying is that even in America, which jurisprudentially is some sort of inspiration for us, right? Even there we see this as a very poignant, and contentious situation.
Yeah, and then the basis of that is separation of powers. So separation of powers, hinati, tatlo. Judiciary, legislative, executive. Ang akala lang ng mga tao, ang usual concept, kasi nga legalistic tayo it's only the judiciary who can tell the executive and legislative that they're overstepping and violating the separation of powers. What if lang to, theoretically, what if it was the judiciary that was violating the separation of powers? How can the judiciary do that? These are well-established academic concepts and even legal concepts in other jurisprudence, not just in the Philippines. There's a concept called judicial legislation. Judicial legislation is a clear no-no. Judicial amendment of the Constitution, that by interpreting the Constitution, they change the Constitution because of how they interpret it. That's a violation of the separation of powers. So who is going to push back against the judiciary except the other branches? So we're not here to say and promote that the Senate should disregard the Supreme Court decision.
We're just saying, in theory, would it be totally out of this world if the Senate insisted that because this is sui generis, because they have the sole constitutional duty to convene the impeachment trial. Therefore, if they move forward, does that create constitutional crisis? Because Dean Jokno, Congressman Jokno, has been warning about constitutional crisis, although from a very different angle.
In theory, the Senate can disregard the Supreme Court decision. So this is a political scientist hat, no? And the question of constitutional crisis, ang question kasi dyan, the Senate, by disregarding, is forcing a constitutional crisis. But let's take a step back. Baka sasabihin ng Senate, it's actually the Supreme Court that created or is forcing a constitutional crisis by stepping or by creating overstep or overbound doon sa limit ng judicial power versus legislative and impeachment power. So the constitutional crisis begs the question, is the Senate the one making it, or is the Senate the one who will try to save the Constitution from a constitutional crisis?
Oof. We are in quite unprecedented grounds. Have you been here before? I mean, what is the closest analogous situation you can think of, Jesus, from so legal history na ito, no? Legal studies na ito. Like, I'm thinking, have you been in this situation? Because parang ping-pong na ito like, no.
You know,
yeah.
Many people don't think may analogous situation, but actually meron na. Ito naisip ko. Remember when the Supreme Court issued a TRO or a decision in favor of GMA, that GMA should be allowed to fly? Meron na yun. You know what happened then? Medyo matanda na tayo. Yung memory ko, ginag ko din yan. Pero naalala ko noon na meron ng winawagayway na decision yung mga lawyers ni GMA sa harap ni De Lima saying, or sinasabi na, ito nasabi ng media, may decision ng Supreme Court, let her fly. But De Lima and Pinoy, the president, did not let her fly.
Ito pumasok yung asawa ni Clooney, di ba? Ni-raise pa sa United Nations yung issue and all.
Yes, human rights
I
violations.
remember that, yeah.
But that situation is an example of another branch asserting its independence or valid exercise of powers against another branch, which is the judiciary.
No, no, I really appreciate this clarification because actually earlier, in an earlier episode on this show, we had Justice Carpio also clarifying that when you talk about issues of kunya, yung rule of law and yung issue ng human rights violations, before you even talk about the rule of role of the courts, dapat pag-usapan ano yung ginawa ng NBI, ano yung ginawa ng DOJ nung panahon ni Digong when it comes to yung mga EJ case, 'di ba? It was a very good clarification na bakit parating onus nilalagay sa mga korte, sa judiciary, when in fact, a lot of cases, the first judicial acts or justice-related acts should come emanate from the executive branch, meaning DOJ, etc. So it also runs the other way around, diba? That the Supreme Court doesn't have necessarily the monopoly on matters that have to do with
Yes.
justice, right? And that's
On
exactly what this is,
matters of justice.
on
Kasi
matters of
ang
justice. Yeah.
criminal justice system, akala ng mga tao courts lang eh. So ang criminal justice system in both legal and political lens, may 5 pillars. That includes the prosecution. That includes the executive.
Yun nga eh. So, it's weird, right? We have a very legalistic culture, but we have a very narrow understanding of what is the realm of law, right? And what is the realm of justice, diba? So this is the irony
And
that we're correcting here, and that's why I really appreciate it. Now, just as I
And
know,
I think ang i-add ko na lang dyan sa legalistic culture, ang medyo unfortunate sa Philippines, and this is with all due respect to the Supreme Court and all lawyers, no? But many lawyers are afraid to criticize the Supreme Court against criticism. If you recall yung criticism ng UP Law Faculty sa plagiarism issue ni Justice Del Castillo in the case of Vinoria, that was a chilling effect sa lawyers. Yung mga show cause orders, subpoena, disciplinary actions on lawyers, takot. Many lawyers are super takot na magsabi kahit valid criticism of the Supreme Court.
right. So what should okay, now this is where yung parte mo na advocate comes in, right? So obviously you do believe in and this is the minimum I think many people could agree is that you want the trial to happen because you want also the Vice President Sara Duterte to have a chance to clear the air, diba? This is the argument. Andyan na convenient trial, just give her a chance to clear her name and then we can move forward from this, right? So as someone who advocates at the very least for that, what is the way forward right now while at the same time giving due respect to the Supreme Court? And as I emphasized earlier, let's also be fair and not cast aspersions, unfair aspersions on the justices. Even though, of course, initially I think a lot of us were emotional and we said things, but I think we have to be very clear about also due respect to the Supreme Court. What do you think should be the way forward, Jesus, without also triggering a constitutional crisis, not only in the legal sense of the word, but also and this is the fear we have had in the functional sense of the word na baka mamaya mapunta tayo sa I don't know if people are familiar with the Operation Car Wash scandal in Brazil whereby suddenly everyone was affected, the vice president, the president. Next thing you know, meron palang anomalous activities yung DOJ. Oh my God, everyone was getting kicked out. So Bolsonaro comes in. Next thing you know, even Bolsonaro go like it was a mess. It totally destroyed Brazilian democracy. I don't know if the country has there's even this beautiful document, parang the sharp edge of democracy or something. It's a beautiful documentary I suggest people to watch, which
And we
shows
don't want to come to that naman, di ba?
exactly. We don't want to
to
come to
come
that, but my
to that.
fear is if all of us, whether in the Supreme Court, whether as journalists, whether as public interest law, if we don't do the right job, ang fear ko dito is the whole authoritative institutions of the country will be questioned, right? Because each side has
Will
something
unravel.
yun nga eh. Like, yung iba galit sa House of Representatives, gano'n. Yung iba galit na naman sa Supreme Court. Yung Senate naman, magulo. So, my fear is, baka ang ultimate loser dito, the denouement, is the faith in our democratic institution itself will collapse, right? So, this is no longer just about Supreme Court or Senate or House of Representatives. That is my fear. Now, we'll have a kind of a new fountainhead of dissatisfaction and disaffection with our institutions. That's my fear. And Jan, crazy ideas could come in Rev Gov, extra constitutional, blah blah blah. It's not like we haven't had history of extra
Ayaw din
constitutional all
natin
the time.
nun. Kudeta, we have gov, definitely no to those kind of things, no. But I think there are two ways to go out of this
Okay, yeah,
mess,
exactly.
no.
So what is
Uh,
the off ramp, or I don't know, what is the soft landing or constitutionally sound landing from this? I'll put it that way. Okay.
so the first thing is, I think merong magandang post si Justice Ascuna, no, and he makes a valid point, but this is on the substance, no. On the substance, yes, the Supreme Court can make a new doctrine. So kami mga matatandang lawyers, kailangan kalimutan na namin ang House, Francisco versus House, tsaka yung mga ganun. Dito na kami sa Sara Duterte versus House, may bagong way to initiate. But when the Supreme Court makes a new doctrine, sabi ni Justice Ascuna, and this has happened in so many Supreme Court decisions, what the Supreme Court should do is to state and follow the doctrine of operative fact, na kung ano yung nangyari noon, even though it is unconstitutional, they relied on previously thought to be constitutional ways to behave, which is yung ginawa ng House, nasabi ng Supreme Court ngayon unconstitutional. And dapat prospective na lang yung application ng bagong doctrine. So magiging valid yung fourth impeachment complaint by the doctrine of operative fact, but moving forward, the House will have to amend and revise its procedures in terms of how it files and endorses impeachment complaints. That's one. That's the substantive. The second is procedural slash substantive, no? May nag-point out, di ba, 2 weeks ago kasi yon or a week ago when commentators like me, and I think you also raised some concerns, naglabas kasi nga si Supreme Court ng order sa House to answer some factual questions. Actually, many factual questions. So madami nang naging concerns ang mga tao doon kasi bakit ang daming tinatanong, etc. Ang concern doon is that those questions were to an order. Hindi pa actually binibigyan ng opportunity ang House as a respondent sa kaso ng Sara Duterte versus House to file a comment. Hindi pa siya nakakapag-formally comment. Ang ginawa lang ng House was to file a compliance kasi nga inutusan siya na sagutin yung factual questions. Pero hindi pa siya nag-raise ng full-blown legal argument or legal pleading. So, procedural siya na substantive na the House should file an MR on the grounds of due process that it should be allowed to file a full comment. And doon sa comment na yon, i-raise niya lahat ng arguments plus yung doctrine of operative fact. And then the Supreme Court, kahit in the end, will reject the arguments of the House, except the doctrine of operative fact, matutuloy yung impeachment trial. That's on the House. The third na naisip ko ngayon is the Senate. The Senate can also file a motion to intervene or motion for clarification asking for the application of the doctrine of operative fact, yung suggestion ni Justice Ascuna. So I think that's the
Thank you for
best.
mentioning him because I was actually
Yeah.
in the process of trying to arrange an interview also with that very good justice. So thank you so much for mentioning also that. No, no, I really appreciate. Actually, by the way, marami pa lang nanonood even though 1 a.m. na, magwa 1 a.m. na. I think people are really appreciating this, Jesus. I think we really have to have our own version of R&R, yung version namin ni Ronald Leal. We have to do this kind of law and politics kind of talks once in a while because we have to be educational. I think emotions are understandable. Political leanings are sometimes, more than clear. But we really have to be fair. Kaya nga tama yung ginawa mo na even if tama yung argument, ito yung naman yung problema, right? Or even if ito yung hindi problematic, ito yung mga implications, right? So we're looking at this from many angles. So you're still cautiously optimistic that we could have an off-ramp to avoid a kind of a ping-pong crazy constitutional crisis situation.
Those are just the ways out. I think ang pinaka-realistic, ang nakikita ko na so far, I think majority of the senators will comply with the Supreme Court decision. I think they will vote to end the trial based on the number of senators that have been speaking out. So hindi na mangyayari itong mga suggestions like suggestions ni Justice Ascuna. It will just end. And then the House will just have to wait until Feb 6 to file an impeachment complaint, or the people like us, no, and civil society groups. I think the best suggestion I'm hearing and ang pinaka may momentum is to hold a people's court,
People's Court,
which
yeah, we
is,
mentioned that.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, that is the way out.
Can you explain to people what is a people's court, and also politically and legally speaking, what is the implication of that? Is it enforceable? Is it gonna keep this alive until next year February? And by the way, can the Congress continue to hold hearings relevant to what led to the impeachment articles to begin with? Kumbaga, hindi naman tapos ng usapan, di ba? Just to be clear, the Supreme Court did not discount yung substantive basis of the articles of impeachment. They raised their own concerns with the procedures and potential or supposed violation of those procedures, right?
Pwede. That's why there's already mga signals from the House about a Quadcom 2.0. But of course, ang tanong kasi dyan, will it be just redundant? Of course, sana may bago na mailabas. So it will be up to them kung may bago silang mga ma-present na witnesses or ma-reveal na evidence. Yung sa People's Court naman, tayo kasi, yung mga nag-aabang for impeachment trial, we just want to know what are the evidence or what's the evidence that would have been presented in the impeachment trial. That can be presented in the People's Court with some representatives participating.
Para simulation.
Yeah.
Now, wow. I mean, for me,
but that will include that will involve credibility.
Yeah, you have to do it.
That will involve the credibility of the people participating, I think.
Yeah, well, we're in crazy, interesting times. Thank you very much again, Attorney Jesus Falsis. There's so much more that I want to discuss with you, but probably we'll choose it at the better time zone. Medyo, ano ba, Southern Europe bang time zone natin. But on that note, thank you so much. So for the purpose, sabi ko nga, medyo i-Ezra Klein natin. What do you think, what do you think na dapat basahin ng mga audiences natin on their own to have a better appreciation of the facts that we have been discussing before they jump to opinions and conclusion and just picking and choosing and cherry picking sinong gusto nilang pakinggan on this issue?
Well, I think two readings, no? The first reading is Justice Robert Jackson and how he views the role of the Supreme Court, whether or not it's perfect, whether or not it's the final court. So just Google Justice Robert Jackson. The second is the case of Sara Duterte versus House itself. Just the main decision. Hindi na kailangan basahin yung concurring for the majority of Filipinos, no? Basta nabasa mo yung main case, makikita mo doon lahat ng mga facts. And you can, from a logical layman point of view, think whether or not bakit ba binan or prohibit yung fourth impeachment complaint because of the first three? Is it right or is it not right? Is there logic? Is there not logic? Mababasa na yan sa main case.
And yeah, thank you for that. I mean, to be fair though, I mean, there's also people saying sana hindi hinintay nung House of Representatives ng ganong katagal rin, because I remember very well we had Congressman Percy on the show last December, and di ba yung pinasikat niya, kung may gusto, may paraan. So, I think we shouldn't also forget some of those things before we jump to criticize.
Lahat may kasalanan. Lahat may kasalanan.
Let's be also honest about that. I mean, I know some people are not going to be happy about us saying this, but we want to be fair to everyone. And my sense is, that's where also folks in the Supreme Court can come in. And di sana kung ginawa nyo kaagad, nung napasaya, di wala na tayong usapan ng ganun. But where does that also leave Cheese, by the way? Cheese Escudero. Does this get Cheese Escudero off the hook on the whole forthwith thing or not? Have you thought about it? Like, where does this put Cheese in his history, right? Like in the books. It's like,
syempre it validates SP Cheese, no? Yung stance niya kasi ang point nila ay madami kaming tinatanong sa House kasi parang may mga agam-agam kami. Tingnan nyo, yung Supreme Court pareho din ng agam-agam at nag-unconstitutional nga. So tama nga kami. I think he will be validated. But I think he will be vindicated, validated, cheese. Sobra.
Con- Congratulations. Sorry, tumataas naman ang kilay ko. But just to add something on that, I always found it much easier to read rulings by the U.S. Supreme Court and reading the U.S. Constitution than ours. So, isa pa yan na I found very exceptional. Parang ang simple lang yung language. I mean, I've done works with Harvard Law School. As a political scientist, I have had joint projects with them on populism, rule of law, human rights. Ang dali nilang kausap. You know, like it's like
Totoo.
I never felt I'm among quote unquote lawyers. These are professors in Harvard Law School. People can also check my talk at Harvard Law School a few years ago also on this issue. Like I really never felt what you feel in the Philippines. So I really take exceptions when people say abogado lang pwede mag-comment dito or whatever. Like what? Like where are you guys coming? Like sorry, I was in Harvard Law School. We know never talk about it. We collaborate as political scientists and legal scholars on multiple
There, there's
projects with
uh,
Harvard Law
there's
School.
a gatekeeping. May gatekeeping sa Pilipinas kasi nga as I mentioned and you agree na may legalistic culture here. So there's a premium placed on lawyers, and lawyers, especially Supreme Court justices, place a premium on themselves na laging legalistic yung angle. So, madaming legal jargon. If it's hard to understand and only lawyers can understand, it gives lawyers more jobs.
Well, it's called entry barrier. My terms are entry barrier. But having said that, what I also appreciate about the legal discipline is at least yung rigor na you have. There's a certain rigor, right? In terms of the logic, in terms of the evidence. At least hindi siya kwentong barbero, unfortunately, with a lot of fake political pundits we have out there who are just regurgitating the political interests and talking points of certain people. Bago tayo mag-name
I-
drop ulit, kasi name drop yata ako ng isang
ipasok ko lang ng mabilis etong legalistic culture, makikita mo sa decision ng Supreme Court, first time din niya sinabi na the impeachment is more of a legal process. Kasi before this case, most decisions in the past, Francisco versus House, Merceditas Gutierrez na case, says it is more a political process with some legal processes. Pero ngayon na iba, with the Justice Lonen decision, tumaas yung legal dimension ng impeachment rather than the political. Na downplay yung
But to be
political.
fair to me, he's saying he needs to do that because you don't want politics to poison the democratic process, right? Parang basically ganun yung point niya. You need to be airtight in
Yes,
procedural aspect because that's the way you can protect rule of law. Otherwise, ano na lang to, politika na lang to, mudslinging na lang to. I'm
but
just
from
trying
a
to be fair
critical
also
lens,
to Justice Leon, and that's the line of argument he basically put forward.
I can see that, di ba? Pero again, from a critical lens, it goes back to lawyers playing premium on themselves. Nada-downplay yung Constitution as a political document, Constitution as a layman's document, and as a democratic tool more than a legal tool.
So what you're saying is that we have seen the rejudicialization or relegalization of what you believe is what many would rather believe that is a fundamentally a political process. And when we say political, hindi yung politika in a Philippine sense. Political in the sense that there should be participation, there should be a democratic egalitarianism, right? A certain level of inclusivity and inclusiveness, right? We mean it in that sense, in that democratic sense. Thank you so much again, Attorney Jesus. This went way better than I thought kasi akala ko you had a rough night of partying and enjoying. No, I'm just kidding. Kasi Saturday night, di ba? And kanina lang, yung mami ko kasi nakikinig sa'yo eh. Tapos biglang dumaan ako, sabi ko, wait lang. Parang hindi na nagsalita yung mga host si Jesus. Sabi ko parang, he's even worse than me. Like, parang, nasaan na yung mga host? Kasi I went out, I came back. You're still talking on the same argument, right? Sabi ko, alam mo, invite ko nga mamaya. So, thank you so much, Jesus, for making time. But as I said, I think, God willing, this is a good beginning of a new chapter. As the Chinese put it, the first step in a journey of 1,000 miles. So, we hope to have you, God willing, for 1,000 other episodes to come. Kasi hindi mawawala ang politika, hindi mawawala ang mga legal issues. At I think there's going to be even more bardagulan and buljakan in the weeks and months to come. Talk to you soon, kapatid, and have a good night, and send regards to your mom, to Tita.
Thank you for having me, and hello to all your viewers.
And by the way, everyone is super appreciative. People are super happy. The response is similar to responses when we have Dino on this show. So I think there's a bias to debaters talaga when we get together talaga, no? Thank you so much, Jesus. Talk to you soon. God bless.